All right, so a bloody crypto Memorial Day weekend. Well, luckily for you guys, it should be Tuesday by the time you're watching this video. You did not face any kind of bath. Bleh. Excuse my words there. I didn't really think that you were going to, but I did highlight some things on this article because there is some important subject matter that I would like to get to. Although we didn't have the bloodbath that, so many were expecting, I'm not really sure why they were expecting it. See, my idea of this whole deal here is I actually kind of expected crypto to move up over this weekend. Now it did a little bit, not by much, nothing, surprising or amazing. Maybe some of you are a bit hopeful because you're back in some green, but I wouldn't move too quickly. See, this Memorial Day weekend, and hopefully you had a good one, got to see your family, maybe did a little barbecue, had a couple drinks. Hope you had a good time. But well, I mean, after seeing Bitcoin as high as it was, the normal everyday people are starting to get more comfortable with these. We've talked about the crypto curious people that are out there. I kind of figured this Memorial Day weekend that we would see a bit more of a price jump. Now, it's not as much as what I was expecting. I did expect the opposite from a bloodbath, though. You've got tons of family coming together. People are finally allowed to be out and about and do things. I guess that's if you listen to your state or government laws, you finally feel like you're allowed to go and do things. Well, these people are going to come together, they're going to have some drinks, have a good time, and what might be mentioned over this Memorial Day weekend? Well, probably crypto. And for a lot of these crypto curious people, if they see the cycles that crypto has gone through, well, it might be a bit appealing. It might seem to have a sale tag on it right now, and maybe they picked a little bit up. So we didn't get that bloodbath. Good for you guys if that's what you were concerned about. But I do want to cover this. So a report on Cointelegraph speculated that Bitcoin could still skid to 20,000 or below. And I've let you guys know that I've actually got kind of emergency buy limits set, right? And my buy limits are actually set at 22,000 and under. Depending on how things start to move, I could always change that, but this is more just if things if they start moving really quickly, then, those buy limits are set in place and I don't have to even think about it. The asset was recently changing hands at $36,199, down over 7% on CoinDesk. Bitcoin is up 24% year to date, but off 44% from its mid-April peak at 64,829. So what I was talking about this weekend, if people decided to come together, Bitcoin basically being half off right now, people could feel comfortable. Those crypto curious folks could feel comfortable enough to get into this, you might say asset, maybe you don't want to call it an asset, whatever you call it, they could be comfortable enough to kind of get into it. And it does look like Bitcoin was stabilizing around $34,000. But our problem here is we can't get over 40K. We can't, every time it hits there, it's getting knocked down. So someone out there is taking profits. Maybe whales are moving the markets around, making whatever little money that they can. But we've got a little bit of a problem here. It continues to say, however, she said it's struggling with its 200-day moving average. Technical analysts use moving averages as gauges of long-term and short-term momentum in an asset. My short-term gauges are pointing higher, but we have no convincing intermediate-term buy signals. Uh-oh. With this in mind, the analyst said that support near 34,000 may be in jeopardy after more of a bounce, so we have our eyes on 27,000 as a possible entry. All right, so moving on to our next article here. Bitcoin can still drop to 20K, but holding remains the winning strategy, data shows. So obviously, if you've been a long-time holder, you're not really feeling any of this, right? You're still good, I would say. And here's a little graph to kind of show you that. I'm not going to make it any bigger for this video. It's just to kind of show you the trend of Bitcoin at the moment. But we need to be careful because remember, we could still see bigger drops coming up ahead. So in this article, you'll find that it says silver and gold countries with a negative interest rate, being Europe, Japan, and the US soon. These countries with predatory governments, Venezuela, China, Iran, Turkey, etc., billionaires and millionaires hedging against quantitative easing, QE, and institutional investors discovering the best performing asset of the last 10 years will influence people to seek safety in Bitcoin. Now, we'll have to see if this is what's really happening. I'm not positive about this yet. I don't want anybody to get excited. Don't move all your money into Bitcoin because you think that that's going to hedge you against inflation. We're not sure. If Bitcoin does see a 60 to 80% drop from its all-time high, well, it could take a couple of years for it to come back. Now, we really need to get into the minds of other investors out there to see where this will go. But this is why I don't want to buy in or sell anything off too quickly. I'm just kind of floating around right now, you might say. I'm just kind of waiting to see, is there going to be a good buy period? And some of you might say this is a good buy period. I mean, 37,322 is what's on my screen for Bitcoin right now at the moment. Maybe for some people that is a good buy, but we've seen it as low as 30K. And I really truly believe that it could go lower. I don't want anybody rushing into... I'm going to say that Bitcoin is here to stay, but I don't want anybody rushing into these speculative assets, not really knowing where it could go as of right now. There is concerns over the amount of, I guess you could say, the carbon footprint, if this is what you want to believe in. There is a possibility of regulation. I don't think that these things are going to happen. I've mentioned to you guys before, Wall Street billionaires, hedge funds, getting in on this kind of activity tells me that I don't really see regulation coming, but it is always possible. This goes on to say modeling Bitcoin value with scarcity as he envisioned a $1 trillion market cap for the cryptocurrency, and we have been there. All right, so the model prompts investors who bought Bitcoin at around $65,000 to hold the asset even if it takes more than 4 years for them to make their investments even. That is applicable only if Bitcoin continues to follow the stock flow price model trajectory. So I would say if you are one of the people out there that bought in at $65,000, I am not for selling things at a loss unless it's going to give you a major tax advantage sometime in the future. Don't sell it. I would say just hold it. You didn't, I don't know. I'm going to say you did make a silly mistake jumping into something at its all-time high. But if you were that person and you're left holding the bag, just keep holding your bag and hope that I'm not going to put a time frame on it, but hope that you do get your investment back, at least come back to even. So I cannot say this word. A logarithmic curve chart based on the same bullish model anticipates the BTC to USD rates to fall to 20,000 or lower. Again, guys, this isn't just me anymore looking at my charts telling me, hey, I should put those buy limits in at 22K. We've now got a lot of data coming in to support this as well. The downside target appears after sketching a Fibonacci graph between the curves, upper and lower bands. Its uppermost deviation sits near $111,590, while the lowest one is around $17,000. Yikes. So a lot of people like to give you all of these crazy graphs out there and they want to act like they are the best charter in the world. You could have the Fibonacci graph, the T-Rex, the donut, head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it, whatever's out there and whatever people might call their lines that they put up on a screen. I would say you really don't have to get this technical with things. And also, I've seen people use Fibonacci graph cycles on like 5-minute charts. So put a Fibonacci wherever you want to, and it's going to tell you that things are either really good or really bad. Just pick the right time frame, right? I wanted to point this out because I don't think that we need to look into Fibonacci for things like this. I mean, you can if you want to. I'm just saying it might not be the best idea. All right, so moving on again. I've actually just seen this article. Bitcoin is headed towards its worst month since 2011. Rich Dad, Poor Dad author says, that's great news. So I do love Robert Kiyosaki. I don't know if you guys are fans of him, but listen to this. He tweeted out that Bitcoin crashing is great news, saying that it provides a good buying opportunity. When price hits 27,000, he might start buying in again. A lot will depend on global macro environment. Remember, the problem is not gold, silver, or Bitcoin. The problem is the incompetence in government, the Federal Reserve, and Wall Street. Remember, gold was worth $300 in 2000. Yes, this is definitely something to remember. And I'm glad that he puts in gold, silver, and Bitcoin. I mean, we know Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. He is very, very, very bullish on silver and gold. Always has been. But also to see these people that have, been in the precious metal space, also being in the crypto space. I don't know, for a lot of you that are extremely hesitant or you are putting all of your eggs in one basket, just remember this isn't always the best route to go, right? We have options and we should use those options. I am the most bullish on silver, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to put every dime that I've saved into silver. I think that that is a bad strategy. Things could play out differently than how we anticipate, and we should hedge ourselves against any scenario. Gold, silver, crypto, certain stocks. I do hate the stock market, but there are certain stocks that would perform well even during a down cycle because the environment around you is going to change. These are all things to look into and remember. More importantly than anything, I think that it is so important to pay down debts right now. That is the most important thing that you could do. Cryptocurrency has helped me pay off some debts. Gold and silver have helped me when there's an emergency. I would think that gold, silver, and crypto, without even thinking about it, I put money into this and I set it aside, and half the time I'm not even checking the price of this stuff. It does not matter to me about what the day price is. The only thing that matters is when I have emergency good till canceled buy limits set, and I'll get an alert that maybe I just bought or sold something at a price that I was hoping to hit. I don't have to think about it. I just get the alert whenever it happens. Now, if you haven't put this into your strategy yet, maybe do so. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, how much to put in. This is all up to you. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not any of these things, right? I'm just some random person on the internet, and I'm letting you know the moves that I am making. Right now, I'm saving a little bit up because I would like to get a tiny bit more gold to my portfolio. I don't want to sell any silver off to do this. Many people do that. They'll sell their silver and get into gold. I don't want to do that. I want to keep my silver where it is. I just want to add a tad bit more gold. If Bitcoin hits low enough, I'll get in. Now, if I start seeing that for over 2 weeks, we're around the same kind of moving averages, and we're bouncing back and forth between that, I will rethink my strategy on Bitcoin. That does not mean that I would cancel any buy limits that I have set. I would just rethink my strategy at that point. And the same goes for gold and silver. I mean, silver's on sale. If you don't have any, go and get some. It's really easy to do. I've actually got a link in the description or some info over there. So if you wanted to get some silver or gold or Bitcoin, actually, do go and call or text my friend Tony. The number is below at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Exchange. Now, if you do happen to live in Missouri, he does actually have a Bitcoin ATM as well. So, gold bug, silver bug, Bitcoin bug, that's Tony. He's a good friend of mine. Give him a shout. Let him know that I sent you over there, and I will catch you guys in the next one.